Joe,
Yeah.
you've recently finished watching, I think last week, the HBO show
Oh,
Barry.
so- but yes,
And it is HBO exclusive.
it is HBO exclusive. I'm very glad it's an HBO exclusive because it allows them to do these tones and themes and things. But yes, this was a show that like after I like sprinted through Game of Thrones, I was like, I still love HBO. I should take advantage of this.
Yep.
There's this show called Barry. I saw one good comment on Reddit saying that it's a really good show and you should watch it. I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a try.
Why
And
not?
man, I was stunned. I love this show. It's now one of
Hey.
my most anticipated new seasons to come out next year, I think.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
so excited.
And
Um,
I became much more interested when I heard you say that the lead actor is Bill Hader because
he's the lead actor, writer, and I think one of the main directors as well.
I love him, so that got me much more interested in this show.
Um,
I think that's what actually put it on my list of to watch.
Yeah, when I hear those kind of things, I kind of worry about like, oh, this is like them just like it's their own kind of project kind of thing, and it can be kind of self-indulging. But like Bill Hader plays a very broken human being, and it's really sad. And so the show is about Barry, Q Bradley.
Barry.
Barry.
God. We'll talk
Um,
about it another day.
so it's about Barry, who is an ex-marine turned hitman who works for this guy named Fuchs. And so he's kind of like whatever about his life. Like he has no like he doesn't he feels kind of indifferent about being a hitman. Like he just does it as a job, but like he's not passionate about it. He's not a psychopath, but he just kind of sees it as work. And then eventually he goes to LA to do a hit, and while he's there, he accidentally like he joins a
Theater group.
a remedial theater group kind of thing that's run by the guy that plays the Fonz. I forget what his name is every time. Um, and he joins it, and like literally the first day, he's like, "I want to do this instead of killing people." Like he just has this revelation in his brain that this is like it just speaks to him for some reason, which is a really like strange concept. But they end up using the theater as like a way of having Barry explore his dark past and have like this moral dilemma about what he does and really rethink about his life and the things that he's done. And really just and comes to grips about like, you know, what makes me happy and what do I have to do, and like obligations to people that I think I can trust, and like the difference between like people that actually care for me and people that are just using me to get what they want. It's like a big kind of theme of this whole series, is the difference between like people that are actually loyal to you and are your friends versus people that are just pretending to be your friends. And there's just so many like great dark moments, and you have these like instances of flashback where Barry is like thinking about like, this is what it could be, this is what my life can be, and then you're like ripped and torn to that, and you're to like this reality of like, oh, this is what I actually did, or here's what's actually happening, and it kind of sucks. And it also like has this like subplot that's really good about like the struggles of getting into an industry that really wants the best from everybody and has high standards for everyone, even though not everyone actually meets those high standards.
This
Kind
is
of
with
deal.
the acting or the murdering?
With the acting,
Okay,
the murdering
right.
is its own thing. Uh, but like, it's like his girlfriend has like one like her plot is great too, because it really is like a very down to earth story about like how she's like good actor, but she can never like land a role because no one believes she's a good actor because she gets like nervous the last second, and like she does really well when someone like she plays off really well off of others, but like if she doesn't have someone to play off well, she like struggles to act, and so she just flounders in that moment, and she just fails because of it. And she feels like a real human being who's struggling to like do her passion. And she's like, I want to be an actor, but nothing is working out for me, kind of deal. And there's some great imagery in this show too. Bill Hader at the very end of every episode like goes through everything that he's thinking about. I was like, yeah, when we were writing this episode, this is what we want to do. This is how we wanted to get shot. You know, this is what this character means. This is what we kind of feel what this character could be and what he represents. But the show does a great balancing of this dark humor and this like really silly comedy. One of the best characters in the show is called NoHo Hank, who is like the right hand guy that's like mafia hitman, and he's like, and whenever he texts Barry for what he needs to get done, he sends him emojis of
Oh my
things.
god.
It's so it's he's one of the best like comedy characters to come out recently. He's so funny. One of my favorite lines is parts is, you know, Barry's setting up for like this hit, and he's like up on a rock, and it's like early in the morning, and he's just sitting there. He has everything laid out, and he gets a phone call from Hank. He's like, "What the hell is this?" And he calls it, and Hank's just like, "Hello, it's so beautiful outside. Do you see this?" Like he's just interrupting him during the middle of his work to tell him that it's just pretty.
God.
Yeah,
That seems like I feel like I would like this character.
yeah. No, he's a wonderful character. He doesn't show up to like episode 2 or 3. I think you watched the first episode.
Yeah, I only watched partway through. So my experience with Barry is, me and my friend, we watched Game of Thrones. Then the next day we were like, well, what else is on HBO? I was at his house. For some reason, the TV was in the living room, so we played Barry, and it was uncomfortable because like he had an older cousin there who did not appreciate the strong language because she's a kind mother. And it was just an awkward time, and I feel like we were both not enjoying it as a result. So I'm going to give it a try, especially with how much you like it.
The episodes are like 30 minutes each, which
not terribly long either.
That's
I
good.
both hate and love it because it's like it's short, and so it makes them very concise and to the point. But also, it's like I just want more Barry. But there are so many moments in this show that it's going along, and it's going kind of like at this like very like, I want to say normalized dark comedy pace, and then like shit happens, and you're just like, oh my god, like this is like a terrible choice. Like there's a point where Barry has to kill somebody, and you feel awful, and like Barry feels awful, and you feel that with him, his guilt. And which is funny because he's a hitman, that's what he does for a living, and the fact he had to kill this one person just like sticks with you and sticks with Barry.
I feel like this is the kind of show that's gonna make you laugh at some dark humor, and then reality hits really hard.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. Like there's one point where
Careful there, I do want to
yeah,
watch this.
well there's one point very early on where like the girlfriend or like the love interest at this point, she's going to an interview, and like the like the scene before, she's like talking to her agent, and the agent makes a joke about her sleeping with him, and she's like, "Oh, that's funny." And then she goes to this audition that he set up, and she gets there, and the lady comes out and it's like, "Oh, well, your agent," with air quotes, said that he doesn't actually represent you, so we can't take you at this time unless you have an agent, essentially. And then she realizes what happened, and she has like a breakdown in her car.
Wow.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh. And
Oof.
yeah, there's so many other moments that are like that, but like taking to an 11, I feel. And there's also talks about like how like acting is also a taxing form of art, because you have to like dig deep into your emotions and like bring that out for other people to see, and make you like extremely vulnerable to a large audience in order to like get that best performance you can possibly give.
That's a cool angle because I wouldn't expect that out of the show.
Yeah, like the climax of season 1 is essentially Barry self-inducing this this like kind of sad anger for a 2-second scene for a small audience. Essentially, that's like the climax, is that he has to like, he basically has to like, something happens, he grits his teeth, it's like, I have to hold on to this emotion for the entire day so I can use it when it's my time to go on stage.
Man, that's some act age shit.
Yeah,
I like it.
Like,
and
I
like
was gonna say,
you can tell that he really wants to get over what's happening and kind of do the thing he does normally to just kind of get over it. But he's like, and he's like, I don't know if I want to go on stage now because of what I've done. It's a great show, and I really love it. And there's another one, season 2, episode 5, which is fucking bonkers. That was an episode I texted you, I think, one time. It was like, I just watched an episode where I was both laughing and both terrified about what was happening at the same
Oh,
exact
that's
time.
so Joe, you're really selling me on this, man.
Yeah. Like literally, like I got to the end of the episode, and like I was like shaking of like laughter and fear of all the events that had occurred in that one episode alone. Like that episode's like up there in terms of like just single episodes from a season, and that episode's pretty standalone too. It's great.
yeah, like the premise for the show not only is good just because, man, it sounds really unique, but also between hearing Joe talk about Barry and Willer talking about Act Age, it's made me realize like what a character centric premise acting and performing can be. Because you know, while the protagonists for both of these things obviously have very different backgrounds and motivations, in both of them, acting can really help them learn about themselves or experience things from other perspectives. And you know, before hearing about these things, I had never really thought about how that could be used in a story, but man, like it seems so natural now. Like,
Yeah, it's the best way I can describe Barry. I was thinking about this. The best way to describe Barry, whereas Breaking Bad is about a normal person becoming a terrible person with Walter White, Barry's about a terrible person trying to become a normal person again.
I could see it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah,
just as a side note, how far did you ever get in Breaking Bad?
I only got like to like maybe the end of first season.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, and I was and I from what I've heard y'all talk about it and like just general thoughts about it, it's very much like about the creation of like a supervillain, quote unquote, essentially. Whereas like Barry is very much the opposite, where it's about this guy that has done terrible things and he's just like, I want to be a normal person again.
Mm-hmm.
And like I just want to get back. I want to get back to zero. That kind of theme. Yeah.
The Joe classic comes out.
Yeah. So I just and it's weird because like this is a person that's done terrible, awful things as a hitman. It's like it's an outlandish idea, but man, it's just it sets a relatable idea of I'm in the hole. I just want to get back to where I was. I don't want to get ahead. I just want to get back to a normal state of mind.
I love that kind of story.
Yeah, and God, like season 2, episode 5, man, like the ending to that just really shows of like how fucked Barry is.
Ooh,
it's so good.
Man, I have so much stuff to do, but I'm gonna have to squeeze in some Barry, Joe.
It's only 30 minutes, so like I literally like went through all of the first season like so quickly, like I didn't even realize it.
That's true, because like I blew through Attack on Titan because of the same reason. Like short episodes, you really blow through.
Also, you know the show is good when it's able to incorporate its like title theme as a joke into its series.
What, Barry? Oh no, the title theme. I see.
Like basically, the title theme, quote unquote, basically is like there's just like some trumpets playing and just says like Barry in big red letters, and they'll incorporate that as like a punchline every once in a while. It's really good.
That's good. That's a cute little thing. That's a way a TV show can really inject some personality in there.
Yeah, it takes full advantage of like its TV aspects. I feel like, and God, I'm so happy it's on HBO because there's so many good dark themes that it touches on, and like just yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so glad I found this by accident. Not by accident, but like I found it and I watched the whole thing, and I'm also upset because I'm in Barry hell now.
Oh, you're in a lot of hells these days.
I am in a lot of hells these days.
Okay, I've been in hell with these things.
But yeah, Barry, 5 out of 5. I would highly recommend Barry. If you're kind of on the fence of Barry, I would watch the first half of season 1, like all the way through, because I feel like episode 5 of season 1 is where things start to get really like come together in its plot essentially. And then when you get to season 5, I feel like when you get to episode 2 of season 5,
right? Okay,
I got really sold on the show. I'm hyping up that episode too much, but man, I really love that episode. I watched it twice. So good. Anyways, yeah, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Go watch Barry, you nerds.
You heard it here first, you nerds.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.